After all, a homeless man has reason to cry, everything in the world is pointed against him. The key to flow is to pursue an activity for its own sake, not for the rewards it brings. We are all of us born with a letter inside us, and that only if we are true to ourselves, may we be allowed to read it before we die. When you are in company of people who don't add value to your life, you risk wasting your effort to succeed. But please remember, this is only a work of fiction. The truth, as always, will be far stranger. I'm sorry for my inability to let unimportant things go, for my inability to hold on to the important things. I just want to do something that matters. Or be something that matters. I just want to matter. Success is getting what you want, happiness is wanting what you get. Life is half delicious yogurt, half crap, and your job is to keep the plastic spoon in the yogurt. Receiving is good, but giving is much better. Nevertheless, sharing is the best. The truth isn't always beauty, but the hunger for it is. If we will be quiet and ready enough, we shall find compensation in every disappointment. But the truth doesn't need to be known, or believed, to be true. It's better to have a few faithful friends than numerous shallow friendships. The test of success is not what you do when you are on top. Success is how high you bounce when you hit the bottom. I had to philosophize. Otherwise, I could not live in this world. I imagine that the intelligent people are the ones so intelligent that they don't even need or want to look intelligent anymore. Queequeg was a native of Kokavoko, an island far away to the west and south. It is not down in any map, true places never are. To the world you may be one person, but to one person you may be the world. When you are sorrowful, look again in your heart, and you shall see that in truth you are weeping for that which has been your delight. It might be possible that the world itself is without meaning. You need to compete for success. There are some things that doesn't come naturally unless it's hereditary, and success is one of them. It is not as much about who you used to be, as it is about who you choose to be. When people try to tell you who you are, don't believe them. When you make a choice, you change the future. Nothing in life is to be feared, it is only to be understood. Now is the time to understand more, so that we may fear less. The sky is the limit. For some people, aim higher, nothing is impossible. It is not a failure to readjust my sails to fit the waters I find myself in. We are alone. Live our lives, lacking anything better to do. Devise reason later. The planet was being destroyed by manufacturing processes, and what was being manufactured was lousy, by and large. Your future is in direct proportion to what you do in the present. No one cares how much you know, until they know how much you care. Opportunity is missed by most people because it is dressed in overalls and looks like work. The only reason for a test is to grow our faith in his ability to help us pass it. You must do the things you think you cannot do. I have given my word that only death will take me from you. A true friend doesn't have guts, they beat you up and later plead with you to beat them back. Aim for the moon. If you miss, you may hit a star. Speaking up for people who don't have a voice is important. It's the right thing to do, even if it's hard. When you go down in flames, let it be a blaze that illuminates your path forward, guiding you towards a new beginning. The most important person you meet in life is your higher self. I cannot teach anybody anything. I can only make them think. Please go for your dreams. Whatever your ideals, you can become whatever you want to become. Persistence is the quality of winners. Successful people never give up. Expectations make people miserable, so whatever yours are, lower them. You'll definitely be happier. The secret to achieving greatness lies in the art of planning. When we map out our dreams, we pave the way for success to follow. The most boring and unproductive question one can ask of any religion is whether or not it is true. Waiting is painful. Forgetting is painful. But not knowing which to do is the worst kind of suffering. Concern yourself not with what you tried and failed in, but with what is still possible to do. Great things happen to those who don't stop believing, trying, learning, and being grateful. The more we value things, the less we value ourselves. It's always hard to lose somebody. It leaves a hole in your heart that never grows back. Be brave enough to live the life of your dreams according to your vision and purpose instead of the expectations and opinions of others. Our power lies in our small daily choices, one after another, to create eternal ripples of a life well lived. It's not always what we don't know that gets in our way, sometimes it's what we think we know that keeps us from learning. Life has become the future. Every moment of your life is lived for the future. Take note of how people treat you after you say no to their demands. Every luxury must be paid for, and everything is a luxury, starting with being in this world. If fate doesn't make you laugh, you just don't get the joke. Somebody may beat me, but they are going to have to bleed to do it. Of course, a sign doesn't mean anything unless you know how to interpret it. We will all pass through a sorrowful stage in life. When it's your turn, don't let the storm sweep you away. It's always the ones who are the quietest who often have the greatest things to say. Take courage, my heart, you have been through worse than this. Be strong, Seth my heart, I am a soldier, I have seen worse sights than this. No act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted. And whatever my life had been up to that day, it was another life after that. And that is the gospel truth. The longer we live, the more weight we carry in our hearts. Imperfection is beauty, madness is genius, and it's better to be absolutely ridiculous than absolutely boring. Failure always stands in our way, but we have to move forward without any fear. That's the way success comes. A wind that blows aimlessly is no good to anyone. You are exactly where you need to be. If you want something, do something about it. Otherwise, it will be your whole life. Someone said to me once that a cigarette at the right moment is better than all the ideals in the world. They say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I think the same could be said for time. Baseless victimhood is usually the last stage before outright aggression. Life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be experienced. When we sense something, it is due to the movement of atoms in space. When I see the moon, it is because moon atoms penetrate my eye. Step without fear. Helping anyone to step out of fear is the best emotional recipe for the mind. Thoughts without content are empty, intuitions without concepts are blind. Dead people can be our heroes because they can't disappoint us later, they only improve over time, as we forget more and more about them. The light at the end of the tunnel is just the light of an oncoming train. Be not afraid of going slowly, be afraid only of standing still. So early in my life, I had learned that if you want something, you had better make some noise. To know you are ignorant is the beginning of wisdom. One day in my shoes and a day for me in your shoes, the beauty of travel lies in the ease and willingness to be more open. If you start with nothing and end up with nothing, there's nothing lost. Excessive praise arises from the same bigotry matrix as excessive criticism. Prediction is very difficult, especially about the future. Don't be afraid of death, be afraid of the unlived life. A daily dose of daydreaming heals the heart, soothes the soul, and strengthens the imagination. Feel free to argue with the man with a gun. Only make sure there are no bullets in it. A goal without a plan, without strategy and execution, is nothing other than a wish. A goal without a backup plan is but a wager. You don't believe things because they make your life better, you believe them because they're true. Having the best doesn't make you the best, but producing the best makes you the best. Almost anyone can be an author, the business is to collect money and fame from this state of being. We're never called on to do what hurts. We just do what hurts out of ignorance and habit. Once we see what we're doing, we can stop. If everyone wants to be somebody, I want to be somebody else. The value of surrounding yourself with positive people is not what you get from them, but how good a person you have become because of them. It had always seemed to him a very plush kind of problem, a privilege, really, to consider whether life was meaningful or not. You cannot change your future, you can change your habits. And surely your habits will change your future. Have faith, have faith. When you have nothing else, have faith.